Hello again, Struck Club. Today I'm bringing you another build video for Torchlight 3, and this one is for the Forged class and the Electrode subclass. I've decided to call it Zapbot Snipealot because of all the shock bolts and zaps that we would be doing and all of the sniping this build can do with pressure shot, which has an amazing range, and with the casting speed I think wooded in this build you can kind of spam this skill, and when you get the items which I was missing to complete the setup, you would be able to have so much constant casting speed boost that it's just silly. It's probably one of the most fun builds I've played on the Forged so far since the rework, and it's amazing. So the culprits behind this setup are Pressure Shot, Vent Vortex Bomb, Conjure Electrode, 1000 Volt Burst, and the usual suspects, which would be Sonic Pulse, Ramming Robot, Power Projection, as well as Cyclone Mode. The thing I was missing was Imbue Relic, so wherever you see me using something like Poison Dart, for example, right now you can put whatever you want. Ideally there you would put Imbue Relic, which comes from the Ancient Ember Hatch, which I couldn't get on time for this build. So with that one, when you combine it with the Frostwall and one more piece, and then when you use the Lil General, you can get a ton of extra DPS boost and constant casting speed increase. It's a good setup, it's fun setup. Cyclone Mode I actually only put 1 point into because I wanted to focus on other things. I found myself not using Cyclone Mode that much, and I actually maxed out Swag Shot so I can get it to 10+2 levels, Pressure Shot I mean. So I hope you really enjoyed this build as much as I do. I will start by explaining the skills. I kind of did a very long skill and gear segment again, so you can just skip ahead if you don't like the whole thing. For this build, the skills I've decided to take are as follows, and again, as usual, keep in mind that I've got +2 to Barrage and +2 to Brawl from my set, the Mountain King set chest and helmet. So, which means Rapid Fire is 4 +2 for a level 6 for the tier 2 bonus. This one is 8 +2 for the tier 3 bonus, and this one is 10 +2. Since it's possible to overlevel, I've decided to max this one to level 10 and get the extra 2 bonus levels to just make it stronger. And you now can even see the difference in the tooltip once you have overlevel a skill. If you want, you can remove those 2 points and spend them elsewhere. More about alternative ways of spending the points later. Now let's show you here, this is 4 +2 for the Forged skills cooldowns. I think it's necessary, I think it's a must-have, but if you think you can deal with it without the extra 10% cooldowns, that's fine. Keep in mind this skill most likely will get the same treatment as Dark Spears on the Dusk Mage, meaning it will give you 10% cooldown reduction across the board for your class skills, for the subclass skill, which is only one in every subclass that has a cooldown, and for item granted skills to give the tier 2 bonus a little bit of extra weight. So most likely with the next patch we're getting this treatment the same way the mage got it. This one for the damage relic skills, this is something optional. If you don't need the damage relic skills, remove 3 points, keep it 1 +2 for the tier 1 bonus, and then spend the other points elsewhere. For example, you can remove 1 point here and those 3 points, and then put the points into Rapid Strike for the 20% brawl skill damage to increase the damage of Cyclone Mode and Vortex Bomb, or you can put those points into Cyclone Mode, which is still not a bad choice if you want to use Cyclone Mode more often. In my case, I rarely use Cyclone Mode, so I don't need it as much, but it's optional again. So this one, just 1 point is more than enough. If you really need block chance, put more points. As I said, you can remove some points from certain places. 1 point is enough to give us the tier 1 bonus, which is the healing. I use this for the defense, so honestly, but the healing also really helps. Now another thing Vent Vortex Bomb, tier 3, pretty useful. Basically all tier 1, 2 and 3 bonuses, all the bonuses on Vortex Bomb are amazing. Vortex Bomb gives us double armor while being used, but with the tier 1 bonus you get that double armor bonus to us for 4 seconds after using Vortex Bomb, and then you get another 20% damage reduction when you do a melee attack, which basically makes the fighter spirit from 50 to 70% total damage reduction. And then the tier 3 bonus gives you using Vortex Bomb whops for fire bombs that deals kills current weapon damage in an area on impact. That's pretty nice, it's good to have it. It's not something I really care about, but I really care about the cooldown. That's why I'm maxing this one out. When you max this one out, and when you get this one, the cooldown goes pretty low. I haven't experimented with over leveling, how the cooldown would change with over leveling, but that's something you might consider, putting extra points if you want to spam Vortex Bomb more often. Now on the Electrode side of things, we kept it clean. 10 points here, 10 points here, 5 points here, 5 points here. We need the casting speed here, because with faster casting speed it means faster pressure shots, which means faster damage per second. This 25% casting speed can stack, so if you cast Conjure Electrode twice, you get 50% casting speed. This 50% casting speed here for 10 seconds with the tier 2 bonus gets increased to 20-second duration, and with the tier 3 bonus we get increased energy gain by 50% during those 20 seconds of the 1000 volt burst duration. It's optional. If you don't need the tier 3 bonus, sure, maybe remove it. I was using it because I don't have Imbue Relic. Ideally I would actually have Imbue Relic and this tier 3 bonus for even more spamminess, but someone who has Imbue Relic from the Ancient Ember hatch could afford to lose those 4 points and spend them elsewhere, if you don't think you need as much Relic and regeneration. Other things worth considering investing points into are Shocking Display. It's not bad to invest some points into it if you can afford to lose points from other places. Energizer, it's not a bad place to put points into. If you want to do more Vortex Bomb focused setup, then Cold Launch tier 2 is amazing. But alternatively you can get crit chance for bro skills, or you can get, as I said, damage to bro skills. Why I took this is for the barrage skill damage obviously. Why I took this, the tier 3 bonus is amazing. It makes the damage of steam spending skills, in our case that's pressure shot for this build, 40% stronger for 6 seconds. On top of the 40% damage vulnerability you apply to the enemies. So they take 40% more damage and you do 40% more damage with your skill, which is additive with any other bonuses, and it's just pretty strong. So things that you can rework, you could, if you don't like using Cyclone mode, you can just remove that point and you can maybe use Rapid Fire and maybe try and max out Rapid Fire, or you can use anything, whether it's Rapid Fire, Shotgun Blast, Cyclone mode or Rapid Strike, it's up to you. As long as we retain the swag shot, the pressure shot mechanic. I prefer venting with Vortex Bomb because of the damage, with the not just the damage reduction but the armor. That's my main reason. Right now Cold Launch seems a little bit underwhelming compared to Vortex Bomb, so maybe they need to just make it give you a damage buff. On the Legendarium side of things, can be flexible. It depends what items you're wearing. Ideally you would be wearing this cannon with good rolls, so you can save a Legendarium SWAT. Basically what I'm gonna say now, and in the gear segment, is you want 3 pieces of the legendary of the legendary set, the Mountain King's helmet, the forged set. You want 3 pieces, which means Mountain King helmet, Mountain King cuirass and gauntlets is what I went for. But another good thing is the Mountain King wheel. So 4 pieces that I suggest having as a must-have. And you have to decide which 3 pieces I'm gonna wear, or am I gonna wear 4 pieces. And my suggestion is wear 3 pieces of the Mountain King set. Pick 3 of those 4: the helmet, the cuirass, the gauntlets and the wheel. Ideally, I say maybe swap the cuirass or swap the wheel in the Legendarium or swap the gauntlets in the Legendarium, and then you can use other things in the Legendarium such as Winter Weave gauntlets. Maybe you can equip them if you swap the Mountain King here. Other things that are worth mentioning and using, obviously the Ancient Ember hatch, which I don't have, that gives you Imbue Relic. This would be a must-have, either equipped or actually, yeah, Ancient Ember hatch. Just a moment, I'm gonna show you. It should be over here at the bottom. So Ancient Ember hatch. Obviously, either equip it. Ideally, you would equip it or swap it in the Legendarium. This gives you gain an active skill, Imbue Relic, fully recharge your Relic energy, and reset Relic skill cooldowns, and with the set bonus it can also recharge 1000-volt burst. I would suggest try to go 3 pieces Ancient Ember equipped, 3 pieces Mountain King equipped. Meaning with that set bonus you get this recharged when you use Imbue Relic, and you can get it down to 30 seconds with the Frostwall set, with the Frostwall and North Mace or Frostwall and Glacier's Edge. It doesn't matter whether you're using a Glacier's Edge or a North Mace. As long as you have one of them equipped alongside the shield, that's gonna be fine. So whichever one you can equip. I'm trying to find you the mace so I can show it. This is the mace. So equip one of those weapons, whichever you get strong, obviously at level 16, not a wall level 1, and equip the Frostwall. I'm gonna talk about that in the gear segment later, but when you do that you get the set bonus, which gives you cooldown, which makes Imbue Relic from the arc powered from the Ancient Ember hatch 30-second cooldown instead of 60. And then if you equip some more Ancient Ember pieces, you would see that set bonus which recharges not just this but also this immediately. Meaning every 30 seconds you can use 1000-volt burst, and you can use 2 Conjure Electrodes on top of that. And another thing I would suggest, while you're wearing the Frostwall and Glacier's, the Frostwall and either the Glacier Edge or the North Mace, you can benefit from the extra set bonus of the Lil General. The Lil General gives you another extra 25% damage reduction, and casting speed for 8 seconds. So as soon as you use Imbue Relic, you trigger the Lil General. Meaning every 30 seconds you get 8 seconds of extra damage reduction and extra casting speed. And this casting speed goes very well with Conjure Electrode twice, or with once using what's its name, 1000-volt burst. So you can get 25 plus 25 plus 25, which is 75, which is 15% over the limit of 60 casting speed, or you can get 50 plus 25, which is exactly the same number, 15% over the limit, or you can just be a little bit more savvy and get this together with 1 Conjure Electrode for 50, and then maybe use 1000-volt burst next, and then after that maybe use 2 Conjure Electrodes, because by that time you might have another Conjure Electrode ready. So it's up to you whether you go for 50% casting speed or for 75, where you're losing 15% but you're still getting extra 10% more on top of the 50. But the damage is great, the damage reduction is also amazing. And yeah, you can swap this in the Legendarium while wearing the shield and sword, or shield and mace, or you can swap the shield while wearing the Lil General and mace, or Lil General and Glacier's Edge, whichever works for you. So keep that in mind. Other pieces of the Ancient Ember set I would recommend would be the threads. So if you have the hatch, maybe equip the threads as well. That would mean you might have to swap the Mountain King wheel. Yeah, that gives you, when you use Conjure Electrode, 10%, or with the set 20% chance to trigger a regeneration of 25 relic energy. So half of the energy spent on Conjure Electrode you get back. So when you do it twice, you have 2 times 20% chance to get 25 energy, and if it procs with both times, then you can get another third one immediately used after it if you're lucky. Yeah, Ancient Ember shoulders are pretty nice. They're not bad. Obviously the gloves are not gonna work for you. I think they're actually broken. I've tested them when having points into chaotic strikes and when I don't have points into chaotic strikes, and it just doesn't seem to trigger. And with the chest, I'm not sure whether you might need 1 point into the barrier skill, but it's something worth considering. And I wouldn't equip the helmet, which obviously it's not for this build. Another thing worth considering: winter with gauntlets, then winter with wheel, and winter with chest, and even the shoulders when they fix them. Right now the winter with shoulders don't work with my forged. Maybe they work in the fort but not outside the fort. And that pretty much is it. Very detailed explanation with all the different things you can implement in the build in the Legendarium for this setup. It's very flexible. Now let's talk about the pet skills. For the pet skills, as usual, you have some flexibility whether you want crit chance or defense in the aura, or movement speed or bulk chance. With forged builds, you may wanna consider certain things that give you crit chance, such as the Mountain King gauntlets or the Woods Beast hatch. Maybe if you have crit chance in your helmet and in your wheel, you may not need that extra crit chance from a pet, because this gives you 20 crit chance. This can give you 5 and this can give you 5, that's 30. This 10% crit chance to barrage skills, that means barrage skills are already at 40, which is the cap. If you get this 10% crit chance for brawl skills, that gets the brawl skills already capped as well. If you play with others, make sure you're not using the same one because you can't stack it. Zoomies I really like, it goes very well with Drought Neckband. With that extra attack speed, it keeps proccing the Drought Neckband. It also can keep proccing Token of Invigoration, which is amazing. And I like Healing Friendship, it's amazing. And then here, Battle Cry, it's optional. If you don't want Battle Cry, you can go more defense, or you can go with something else. This seems to be buggy and not working well. This doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work yet. So this works actually, this is pretty decent if you need it. But yeah, I like this a lot, and this and this. And then here optional which one you take. So that's pretty much it for the skills. Let's move on to the gear segment. And here we are at the gear segment, where I'm going to talk about the items I would ideally wear in every SWAT, and about the affix rows on those items I would suggest taking. So let's start maybe with the weapon and offhand, the shield or focus. My idea would be, for the best version of this build in my opinion, to have the Frostwall equipped or the Lil General equipped, and then the Frostwall in the Legendarium. Ideally I would equip Frostwall for survivability and SWAT the Lil General in the Legendarium. And then I would have on my Frostwall maybe some defense and then chance to shock, or 2 times chance to shock, or something else. It's up to you, but you really must have chance to shock. That way you don't need to get chance to shock on your weapon, and you can maybe get more flat damage from the weapon. So you can get chance to shock on a focus item as well, so that's not bad. And just to show you some of the other options you can get on a shield, so you can have some idea. See, this is where you get the chance to shock, and it's better to have the chance to shock for X seconds instead of the plus X% to shock chance affixes. Because first, this gives you a higher value of chance to shock. Second, this increases your duration, which is additive, and increases the damage you do with the shocks additive. Then next, if you've already gotten the chance to shock, you can maybe try and get some defense. This one has defense, fire defense, and chance to block, so either of the 3 is good, but I would always go for the regular defense because it applies to every single element, even though it's like maybe 3 times less than the fire. I like that one myself. Now for the weapon, I would suggest a Glacier's Edge or a North Mace, a good rolled one, meaning you would have maybe, if you don't need the chance to shock, if you have it in the shield, then go for flat damage at the top, which is always there. Then at the bottom, flat damage is good, and as much flat damage you can get, the better it. As much as you can get, the better it gets. But if you need crit damage or crit chance, you can try and get that there. It's not a bad stat. or maybe extra levels to swag shot, not a bad stat as well. But in the sockets, getting flat damage is good, and the best place to get it right now, to get flat damage, is hot or cold. Because it has 6 possible things you can get, and out of those 6, 2 are flat damage. And it doesn't matter what type of flat damage you get, that's why, whether it's fire, ice, or whatever else, it's good. That's why hot and cold is amazing. So, either of those is great. Ideally, ideally you would use whatever is better. Whatever drops. It doesn't matter in my opinion, unless you're planning on using Frost Nova or Hailstorm. It won't matter much which one you take, as long as it's with flat damage at the top, and at the bottom, maybe in the middle, flat damage as well, and maybe some crit chance or crit damage, or even chance to shock, even chance to freeze. Chance to freeze is an amazing stat that really provides you with a lot of crowd control. So consider doing something like that, getting chance to freeze. If you already have shock here, maybe you can get freeze, or if you have shock in the weapon, you can try and get freeze in the shield. And that brings us to the cannon. For the cannon, you would want the Unstable War Arm. Good road, level 60 Unstable War Arm. We need level 60 for this build because it's not a melee build, so the more damage we get, the better it is for our swag shot. Meaning you would want that flat damage and crit chance at the top. And you would want that chance to shock maybe on the cannon with some flat damages in the middle, or with maybe some chance to freeze. It's not bad. Ideally I would have chance to shock, flat damage in the middle for those 3 affixes. And since a legendary can get an extra affix, you might even try and get some crit chance or crit damage, or chance to freeze, something like that there as well, or another flat damage. And then you can get some flat damage in the socket or sockets from the hot and cold again. Now, moving on to the armor, you want and need to wear 3 pieces of the Mountain King set. There's 4 things that are must have in my opinion for this build, which is the helmet, the cuirass, the gauntlets, and the wheel. Pick 3 of those, wear them. Ideally I would be wearing the helmet, the gauntlets, and the cuirass, and then I can equip Ancient Ember Threads, Ancient Ember Hatch, and Ancient Ember Shoulders. So I can get that extra bonus, and so I can get that bonus, as I mentioned in the Legendarium, where with the Hatch, the Ancient Ember Hatch, when I use it every 30 seconds, I get full energy and full energy charge, meaning every 30 seconds that's 2 Conjure Electrodes and 1000 volt burst cast for free. And since 1000 volt burst lasts for 20 seconds with the tier 2 bonus, that means there's like 10 seconds of downtime. And you might be able to keep it up at all times, especially once they give us the cooldown treatment for Fracking Strike to apply to item granted skills. That gives you another 6 seconds shaved, which means it makes the cooldown of Imbue Relic to 24 seconds, which means there's only 4 seconds downtime between 1000 volt burst and the Imbue Relic, which will give you another 1000 volt burst. And it's just great for your casting speed. You're gonna kind of permanently have extra 50 or 60% casting speed on you. 60 is the limit, keep that in mind. So yeah, with the threads you also get 20% chance when you get the set bonus when using Conjure Electrode to get 25 energy back, which is again amazing, permanently getting you extra damage and extra casting speed. And the shoulders, they're not amazing, but they're something worth having. I don't have them to show those to you right now, but they're somewhere here. Let me just try and show you where they went. Ancient Ember Shoulders. Casting 1000 volt burst has 50%, and this gives it 100% chance to give you a random shrine effect. So every 30 and when they fix it 24 seconds, you can get a shrine effect. And that shrine effect stacks pretty well with the Lil General that you get when you use Imbue Relic. And if you use Imbue Relic and then immediately use 1000 volt burst after it, you get that 50% casting speed stacking with the Lil General's 25% casting speed, giving you the limit of 60, and you get that shrine effect, which is a little bit of a bonus. And then once this expires, or before it expires, maybe when the Lil General expires, you can do Conjure Electrodes. I mean, there's so much stuff you can get, such a nice synergy by combining this set with this set with the hatch and the threads and the shoulders, and then you're gonna have to swat the wheel if you do it the way I suggest. Swatting the wheel would leave this swat here for the Lil General, because this would be ideally equipped, and then the Winterweave Gauntlet is optional. It's an optional thing I suggest equipping for survivability. If you don't need it, then there's other things you can put in here. Other Winterweave pieces like the wheel, like the chest for farming, the shoulders for mobility when they fix them to work on the forged, yeah, there's other things from the Winterweave or the Mountain King set that you might want to swat there. Although I wouldn't use the Mountain King hatch, obviously it's not for this build, and I wouldn't use the Mountain King shoulders. So yeah, just swat the wheel, swat the Lil General, and then the third swat, I strongly suggest wearing Winterweave Gauntlets for survivability, but if you don't need it, it's up to you what you put there. There are options, like for example shoulders, skittering shoulders or arc-powered shoulders, and other things like that. That pretty much, I think, sums up the set stuff. Now let's talk about the affixes. In here you would want ideally crit chance and maybe levels to slug shot, which is pressure shot. If you get levels to pressure shot, that gives you so much more damage. Other things that you can benefit from the extra levels would be obviously things we use, such as Cyclone Mode or Sonic Pulse and so on. So you can kind of adjust, maybe reduce the levels of something if you have extra levels from the helmet. Other things you can get: relic energy generation, relic energy cost reduction. You can get that here or here. And the relic energy generation, relic energy cost reduction. Duration for power projection you can get here. It's good, but I would still prefer probably some more defense. Defense applies to every single piece of armor. It's a great stat, or elemental defense. But mix and match the elements, as well as sockets everywhere, obviously something you want. Now let's move on to damage with Slug Shot, and let's show you what that does to the skill. Look at Slug Shot, look at Pressure Shot, 930% gun damage, and this is 1159. And if we put one more item that gives us this bonus, let me just do it like this. I'm gonna do it like this. For a moment, so I can equip this, and so I can put this here for a moment. Just a second, come on, vote. I want to show you this. Now, Slug Shot with 2 pieces of equipment there became 1175. With the 1 piece, it's 1150, and if we do it the other way around, it was 900 and something. Now I want to show you something. I want to show you this. See, this makes it 1460, and when I put this one and use this again, 1679 chest gun damage. So it may not seem like a big increase before you use Sonic Pulse, but when you use Sonic Pulse, this becomes huge. So having Slug Shot damage here, and having where did it go? Wait, where did the chest go? And having Slug Shot here is amazing. It's pretty good. So get Slug Shot damage here, get Slug Shot damage here, get Slug Shot damage here. And if you're lucky, you can get swag shot damage and crit damage on the shoulders. If you're lucky, you can get swag shot and flat damage or crit damage alongside it in the cuirass. And if you're lucky, you can get swag shot damage with flat damage or swag shot damage with crit chance on the orb, on the wheel, whatever locomotion you use. That's the three pieces where you can get swag shot damage. So make sure to try and get those there. And yeah, that's pretty much the best places where you can get swag shot. Flat damage, as I said, here and here. Crit damage can drop here and here. Crit chance can drop here and here. On this one, duration for Sonic Pulse can stack with the duration for Sonic Pulse, hero duration for power projection. Again, I think Sonic Pulse is the better thing to stack if you want to stack durations for this build. This one can also give you crit damage, so ideally you would get crit damage here. And I think we pretty much mentioned most of the important things. Make sure you check the website version of the build if you want to see some things that I might have missed. For the pet items, Drought Neckband, Token of Rapid Bartering, Token of Invigoration is my favorite combo. Why? Drought Neckband goes very well with zoomies, and if you get pet attack speed and cooldown, pet active skill cooldown, that's amazing. The faster the pet attacks, the faster it triggers this, and the faster the cooldown, the faster it would be healing you with other things in using his skills or its skills. So ideally you would get on this one attack speed and active cooldown for the pet, on this one attack speed and active cooldown, on this one attack speed and active cooldown, and you can also get pet active cooldown from the sockets on the tokens, not on the neckband though. And I think that pretty much covers everything there was to cover. Pretty long segment, but I hope it was useful information to all of you. Next, let's show you more gameplay footage. Here we are at the gameplay segment where I'm going to show you more of the build in action and talk about how I rotate my skills. So as you can probably guess, Conjure Electrode and 1000 volt burst would be very important to decide how we do certain things, because they give us casting speed. And as I mentioned in earlier parts of the video, you cannot get more than 60% casting speed, so you would want to either go for 50%, which you can get with 1000 volt burst alone, or with 2 Conjure Electrodes, or with 1 Conjure Electrode and the Imbue Relic, or you can go for 75, which gets down to 60 due to the cap, which you can get with 1000 volt and Imbue, or 1000 volt and Conjure Electrode, or 2 Conjure Electrodes and Imbue Relic, or 3 Conjure Electrodes. There's ways to be flexible with that. But what I do like to do is I like to start with Cyclone mode a bit to build the hit to over 75, so I can use the gauntlets for crit chance. Then I would follow up with Sonic Pulse and Vortex Bomb, and then I would use Power Projection and start using Conjure Electrode and other things. Ideally, if you have Imbue Relic, you can just maybe do the casting speed at the start, then do the other things, and then rewind that. So you can be kind of flexible with certain things, which ones you use first, but I strongly recommend using Sonic Pulse right before Vortex Bomb, followed by Pressure Shot, once you have the casting speed from Conjure Electrode. So I hope you enjoyed this rotation as I do. To get notified when I upload more content for this game or other games like this one, which would be wooters of all varieties, isometric, third-person ARPGs, wooter shooters and all sorts of wooters like that, you could subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on my content updates. And optionally, you can even join as a member of the Struck Club on YouTube as a channel member to get access to exclusive perks such as special emotes custom made by me, special badges custom made by me that represents how many months you have been a member for, as well as opt-in of editing tutorials that I can give for Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, as well as shoutouts and things like that. And I would like to use this part of the video to thank all my YouTube members and Twitch subscribers. Thank you for supporting the channel and keeping me going. Thank you also for watching this video, everyone. Keep it cool, Struck Club. Until next time, and goodbye.